Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, featuring 31, because we have a bonus, exclusive sketches. And if you'd like to check out Instagram, it's hashtag 30 DSCBL10. And of course, there's a Facebook group too. And this is a sketch we'll be using today, and it's by Sandra Lee. It has lots of lovely layers, a couple of photos titled, and a couple of roses. I'll use something else besides roses, though, on mine. I'm scrapping a photo of my grandson Jake and a train, and I'm showing the alphas that I planned on using. I am not using all of them. A train track that's a die, and the papers are it's magical, I think. Anyway, they're Echo Park. And I am going to do a little bit of layering on some blue cardstock. And I did gut because that's a really pretty blue cardstock, so I don't want to waste any of it. This is the train track. I cut it out in black, and I also cut it out in a wood grain. And I'm going to cut the wood grain apart, and then I am going to ink it in vintage photo, all those little teeny tiny pieces. And I put them in order so I wouldn't lose track because they are not the same on each and every one of those. If you look at them, they are varying degrees of sizes and shapes. I mean, the shapes aren't off too much, but they are off a little bit. So I figured if I wanted it to match, I would go ahead and do it that way. And I am doing this whole thing, and I could have not done the whole thing because, I had kind of in my head what I wanted to do. And as I've said before, I never have enough real estate, it seems like. There's always something that's not going to go on the layout that I had planned. Well, today is no exception. In fact, it's going to be a little bit more. So I'm thinking I will make a 9 by 12 to go with this. I layered all the brown on there and inked it, like I said. And now I wanted it to have some dimension. I'm going to lay it on top of that yellow there because I want to make sure there's no pattern paper showing beneath it. And I'm putting foam tape on all the little trestles. I don't know. I know that's a word in railroad tracks, but I don't know if that. I know what it is. It's railroad ties. The ties that go across there, and they're mostly they have chryso on them, and they're pretty dark, pretty much black. But I did mine the wood grain, which it is wood to start with. It's just they put the chryso on there, and I didn't want chryso, so I put vintage photo instead. And see that big gap there? I wasn't sure how I was going to do this paper. It took me a while to decide. I cut out a lot of the indecision. I tucked it under. I considered cutting it in half. I knew I wanted my title to be on part of it. If you look at the upper corner, left hand corner, you'll see the sketch, and the title is on a different piece of paper, but I wanted it on this piece of paper, and I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. If I hadn't already gutted that one paper and backed it, I probably would have cut it in half and done something. But since I already done that, I went ahead and put it all on the front and wasted part of my railroad tracks. But that's okay. It served to help lift this paper up and give the layout some dimension. There is a few layers behind the photos in the layout, and they have two, one larger, one smaller. And I'm counting the railroad track as one of my layers of paper. But I put the yellow across there, and I am going to add tickets instead of the ones going up higher. I'll have that one that's going up higher that I'm laying the photos on right now. But I decided instead of the bigger pieces, there's three bigger pieces across there, that I'd add some tickets instead. The title that I'm putting down is I'm using Happy Day, Paige Evans ones, and another chance to use the dark blue, which isn't very often. So I'm using it for my title, and it says Train Love Through the Generations. Now I can, if you look over there, there is tile letters with words. Well, they are Grandpa Burns, great Grandpa Charles, great 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 Grandpa James, because they all worked on the railroad. Two different sides of the family for Jake, but they all worked on the railroad, and they weren't all going to fit. That's why I'm going to do the 9 by 12. But I decided to have, since I already had the title, to have that on there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the great 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 Grandpa James, but I'm going to add starting with great 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 Grandpa James and put circa 1910, because I know he was working on the railroad at that time. By the time my mom was born, she was his granddaughter. He was building houses and selling them. He would build it, they might move in it before it even got done, and he would finish it up, he'd sell it and start on another one. So they went from house to house. But at the time in 1910, when my grandmother was a small child, he worked on the railroad. And like I said, I seen it on the census, so I know 1910 he did, but I am not sure how many years that he worked on the railroad. And then Jake had two other grandpas, a grandpa and a great grandpa, that also worked on the railroad. So he loved trains when he was little. Well, he still does. He still enjoys looking at them. And I would stop the car. I swear, he would be sound asleep in the car seat back there. And he would wake up if he heard a train at all. You know, they'd blow the whistle before they came to a section for crossing. So I got where I would pull over and let him watch the train. And sometimes they were really long. But he would be so excited and jumping around in the seat, you could not keep him in the car seat. So I would pull over to the side and let the whole train go by and everything. And I could have gone to underpasses where I could miss the train. And of course, there was times I could have just went ahead and went because the train wouldn't be in sight yet. But he loved trains, so I did that, and he got where he expected. He finally outgrew it, and he didn't. Well, I don't think we've seen as many trains. I think they must have routed them a little different or something, and we didn't see as many. This one was in another town when we saw it, and I went ahead and took a picture since I had my camera because we were out visiting and I was taking pictures anyway. And it's not a super great photo, but it is a photo of the train. And Jake there, that is not a picture of him that day, but I thought, well, I don't know why I didn't think to take a picture of him. Well, I had just started scrapbooking around then, so that might have been part of it. But yeah, I wanted to document his love of the train, and I did get the Union Pacific logos off of the internet. The one on the left is the one that they had in 1910, and the one on the right is the one they have now. And when I go back to take the photos, I will put then and now on there on those two, because I did not think of that not once while I was doing the layout, but I did think of it before I took the photos. But while I am adding finishing touches on here, I want to mention that down there below, you'll find links to everybody else that are doing the Christie's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. Did I say links? No, no, no. It's a playlist. It will be the one link, and all you have to do is click on it to find the rest of the videos that everybody created. Um, I am finishing it off with some banners. It looked kind of empty right there. Oh, and I forgot I added this. It looked kind of bare at the top, and if I'd had any more of that red stripe, I would have definitely added that. But I didn't, so I decided to add a strip of black up at the top, and yeah, finished off my layout. But yeah, I got the two Union Pacific Railroad things instead of the two flowers, and the sketch has one up higher than the other, and I have that, and I have the two photos. I have my title down to the left instead of right because I flipped my photos around. And I added tickets instead of extra paper. So I had to have more, instead of just three, I had to have more since they were smaller. But yeah, they're starting with great 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 grandpa James circa 1910. But if you leave a comment down there below, I'll try to get back to you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so very much. And thank you all for watching my video today. I appreciate that too. And I appreciate all the comments that get left down there in the comment section. I read every single one of them and I try to get back with as many as I can. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoy the hop all month long, inspiration, and lots of ideas to use these exclusive sketches. But have a happy, scrappy week and have fun. Try out some of the sketches. Bye.